We got the new iPhone XS Max and we got an $8,000 professional photo camera. Can the iPhone keep up when it comes to photography? We are about to find out. My name is Damien Cooper and welcome to Monkey Pixels.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Okay, let's use a disclaimer first. Of course, the iPhone can't keep up when it comes to everything that a DSLR can. When it comes to the different lenses you can choose, when it comes to the speed or the versatility you have. But that is really not the point of this video. This video goes out to all the Instagrammers, the travel vloggers, if you're just running gunning and you just want to take a picture for your Instagram feed, for example. So we're talking portraits, we're talking a little bit of landscape and the typical Instagram photography. And we're not talking about studio photography and all these really specialized fields when it comes to professional photography, but this is not what this video is for. We're shooting with the Canon 1DX Mark II, which is a really big and heavy camera. Don't get me wrong, I really love this camera. But when it comes to the versatility and the portability of the camera, it's really not that great. Because if you want to take pictures everywhere for your Instagram, you always have to carry that camera around. Whereas the new iPhone just fits in your pocket. So the question of this video is the camera of the new iPhone good enough to maybe even replace the camera for 80–90% of the users out there? And that's what we want to find out.
It's cold. I don't want this.
Although it was really cold outside, the temperatures dropped like crazy from one day to another, we took the camera out and went to the Vienna Prater, which is some kind of amusement park, and tested the camera. And we didn't only test it in broad daylight, we tested it in daylight, in backlight situations, which are usually kind of hard for cameras, as well as in nighttime with lots of different colors. So we have the broad spectrum from situations we would put our camera through on a regular day-to-day basis when it comes to our Instagram photography. So I already have the iPhone X and I'm really impressed by its camera. I used it a lot. Some of the pictures even made it to our Instagram feed. But there was one thing that always bugged me, and it's so inconsistent and it's really slow. So one thing I noticed with the new iPhone XS Max is that it's much quicker. So when it comes to the portrait function of the photography side, you can just snap pictures like this. So oftentimes with the iPhone X, I wanted to take a picture of Belle laughing and I actually missed the picture because the function wasn't ready. And as soon as the sun settled, it was a nightmare. It kept focus hunting and it just didn't work that great. With the new iPhone, it's much quicker. You can actually snap a couple pictures right after the other, and I was really impressed by it. So right in the beginning when we got to the location, I shot some pictures with Belle standing in front of the sun, so we had a backlight situation to get a little bit of the lens flares. And again, I was really impressed by the iPhone X that it could capture the entire scene without having to focus hunt all the time. I even got some nice lens flares in, so that was really impressive. So here's what we did. We took pictures of Belle and she took pictures of me, and in the same location we once took it with our iPhone and the other times we took it with our DSLR. And if you follow us on Instagram, over the next week we will put in our stories a side-by-side comparison and you have to choose. We already did that once with the iPhone X and the results were surprising. Basically, every picture we put up were chosen 50% for one and 50% for the other. So that was really amazing for us that even a lot of professional photographers couldn't tell the difference or couldn't really tell if it's the iPhone or the 1DX. So over the next week, we'll do the same thing on our Instagram stories. So follow us and then vote on the Instagram stories if you can figure out which picture is taken with the iPhone and which is taken by the Canon 1DX. So, as I was saying earlier, we're using Instagram a lot. We're traveling a bunch and we really want to speed up our process of editing pictures and uploading them to our Instagram. With a camera like the 1DX, you have to import them to your computer, then edit them there. And if you're not using Lightroom CC, you have to export them, transfer them back to your device, and then you can actually upload them to Instagram. With the iPhone, you basically have the chance to just take a picture on your iPhone, edit them in Lightroom CC on your mobile device. And by the way, all the pictures you see here in this video and on our Instagram are edited with our Lightroom presets. And there's a 50% off discount for the next week due to this video. So check them out, link is in the description below if you want to edit your pictures with our Lightroom presets. So you can just shoot it on your iPhone, edit it on your mobile device and directly upload it to Instagram. So that is a huge bonus. But keep in mind, we looked at the pictures on our iPhone side by side and even we really couldn't tell the difference sometimes. But if you put it back onto your computer and look at it on your 40-inch 4K monitor, you definitely see a difference. The sensor of the iPhone is so much smaller, and even though it has a lot of megapixels, you really see the image falling apart really quickly. So when it comes to that, it's really all about Instagram and mobile photography, and not really if you want to print them up high or use them as your desktop screen for your TV or your 4K editing monitor. So in the end of the night, we were shooting in a really dark setting, and there were a lot of backlights, a lot of colorful lights, a lot of contrasty environment going on. So that is basically the worst situation you can put your camera in. And even the 1DX struggled a lot, and that's where you could see the portrait function of the iPhone started to struggle a lot too. But it wasn't even that bad as before, and I was still kind of impressed how often and quickly it actually managed to find the portrait function and nail the focus. So that was one thing to keep in mind as well. So what about when we're not using our portrait function? What we did deliberately, and that is something we do most of the time if we're just running gunning and want to shoot pictures for our Instagram or some little videos, we use the 24-70 2.8 by Canon on our 1DX. And that kind of compares to the focal length of the iPhone pretty well, I think. So that is somewhat of a fair comparison. Keep in mind that if you're using prime lenses with an open aperture of 1.4 or 1.2, then you'll see drastic differences in the quality of the picture and the lens. So for this comparison, I think it's fair to compare it with an actual lens that makes sense. So when it comes to 24mm photography, because you know, a lot of travel photographers, they want to have a little bit of landscape, or they want to have their subject and also portray the environment they're in. And I think the regular photo mode of the iPhone works pretty well with that. And sometimes I couldn't even tell the difference between the 1DX or the iPhone, and when I had to choose which one is going up on my feed, I actually used the iPhone picture instead of the one shot with the Canon. So what's our verdict here? Will we leave the 1DX behind and only use the iPhone on our next shoots? Maybe, maybe not. The thing is, we shoot a lot of videos, so we obviously need to keep the 1DX around because the iPhone just can't keep up. If you're interested in a comparison in video, just let us know in the comments below, because maybe we can do that in the future too. But when it comes to photography, yes, I do leave the 1DX behind. Okay, one thing I haven't mentioned earlier, and that is a big advantage of the iPhone 2 when it comes to photography, is the stealth factor. Because if you're carrying around a big camera like the 1DX, you draw a lot of attention to yourself. And there might be a lot of places that won't allow you to take pictures there with your 1DX. With the iPhone, you probably won't get any problems anywhere. So that is a big advantage of taking a picture with the iPhone. So again, when it comes to really high professional photography, I obviously wouldn't use the iPhone over a really professional DSLR body. But when it comes to travel photography, Instagram photography, when you're just on the beach or you're lying on the pool and you want to take a snap of your girlfriend, of yourself, or of your family member, then yeah, the iPhone is a really great option, so you don't have to carry around the big camera. So I really hope you liked this video, and if you shoot with the new iPhone XS Max, tag us on Instagram, because we like to check out your pictures and what you do with it, especially when you use our presets. Tag us, because we really love what you're doing with our edits. And I hope to see you on the next one. My name is Damien Cooper, and goodbye.
Keeps it dead in my mind.